Imagine one farm making money from fish, eggs, snails, mushrooms, and cucumber, all in one place. This is the African Project Development Center here in Abuja, and what they are doing might surprise you. But here is the interesting part. This farm is not just producing food, they are also training people for free.
Welcome to APDC. APDC means Africa Project Development Center.
Okay.
And the organization is youth driven, that focus on youth and women empowerment.
Okay.
We have been existing for the past 7 years. By 25th of this month, we will be 8 years old.
Wow.
And the focus point, let me just put it that way, that we are into youth empowerment, as I said. And we have Agribusiness, which is a combination of aquaculture, poultry, horticulture, snail, and mushroom. Then we have creative art. Creative art involves fashion design, that is making of clothes, and makeup artists, and hair making. Then we have shoemaking, and wig, bead, and bed making. Also bag for women and children's bag and adult bag, that's office bag. Then we have an entrepreneur that they were into baking or cake for major for women, that's going to baking and all kinds of baking system. Let me just put it that way, that people were running here for free, 100% free, no charges involved. And with the help of our MD that who work with Africa Development Bank by name Dr. Chiji Ojoku, who have the idea of helping youth to reduce unemployment. So by the grace of God, since the beginning of the this office begins 7 to 8 years ago, we have trained over 10,000 youths across the country, and put together over 12,000 across Africa.
People in the diaspora, if they want to invest in
it's very possible. There's a project we are working on, focus more with on people, the diaspora people,
okay,
that you can invest. Some people send money for us to train people. If you want to set up your farm, and if some of them can come and learn, like you can give them both physical training or online program, if they are willing to learn. But some people that has their money, we set up farm for them, and then give them staff to come and manage their farm for them.
So people are also open for investment.
Yes, investment. You can come, set up farm for you, give you the past trainings to manage, they will supervise. Okay. To set up a farm in across the country, it's no problem. Outside countries, you are welcome.
Okay, it's nice.
Center. Here at this enterprise, we deal with production, processing, marketing, and then packaging of our fish. We have the catfish and we have the tilapia fish here. We raise from juveniles to table size. Likewise, the tilapia we raise from juveniles to table size. We also hatch ourselves. We have where we hatch and then grow out to table size.
Okay, so what capacity do we have here?
We have over 10,000 capacity here. Like you can see around, we have different sizes of ponds. We have 9 ponds in total, where we grow tilapia and catfish, African catfish to be precise.
Okay. So what the cost of producing this fish with this capacity you are having here?
Right now, because it was not today, you can't compare. You can't use today's price to compare what we have before. But if I would say for now, if anyone wants to start, within 500 to 700,000 can start a fish farm production.
That's including the tanks.
Yes, the tanks, like 2 to 3 tanks, and then other constructions that would be including stocking.
Okay. I noticed here in the farm there is no concrete pond, it's only plastic. Why did you choose?
Because we teach urban farming, and we noticed that if you have gone around, you notice that this is a youth-run organization, and we believe that youth move a lot. and this is a collapsible tank. It's called collapsible tank. So it is something that you can actually collapse and move. Wherever you find yourself, you can continue the business, and it's urban friendly because you can actually do it anywhere, even in your house, even in rented apartments. You can actually use it, and when you are done, you want to leave that place, you can pack it up and still continue your business.
Okay. So what are the challenges people face here?
Would I say that I won't say there's no challenges, sure, but it's minimal.
Like,
we can say we do face water challenge, because the enterprise is growing, and then we are increasing in ponds and sizes of ponds, so it demands a lot of water, and we need to keep changing the water. So I would say the challenge we face here is water.
Water. That means how many boreholes do people have here?
We have like three.
Three.
Yes,
Three
in
working
different.
holes.
Yes, in 3 different plots.
Okay. So you advise a young or someone who is looking forward in opening a farm, you advise the person to go into fishery?
Yes, why not? We have a lot of students that have started this program, that have started this production as well, and they are doing very well. What I usually say is they should start small and grow the business. So and the factors they should consider before starting is constant water, the location, and then the market value of whatever production they are going into, because it could be that they want to do production, it could be that they want to do processing. You understand? We have different value chains, we have different chains that they can actually go into under aquaculture. You can decide to do production, you can decide to hatch from just and then raise it to like 2 weeks and sell it out. You can decide to raise to table size and sell it. So you can decide to say, okay, I want to supply other materials they need at the aquaculture enterprise, and you can also say you want to buy processed fish and sell. You can do anything under. There are a lot of things that you can actually do under production. It's not a must that you must do everything. You understand?
Okay. What are your gains in terms of, that is, after you finish your process and everything? What are the gains you will get after the whole process?
Okay, I would say that you process 100 kg of fresh, right, and we get 24 to 25 kg of dry fish, and then we sell a kg at 15,000 naira. So you can do the math.
So how do people manage your disease factor in this farm?
Is management. I would say it's management, because one thing I usually tell the trainees here is that once you have a proper management, you would hardly have disease outbreak. And then the way we manage is organic. We usually use organic method to treat fish. Yeah, we use salt.
Okay.
We use salt solution. We use ash. We use bitter leaf. We use moringa. Those are the things we use in treating our fish. It's purely organic.
So basically what we do here at the Mushroom Enterprise is we get hold of waste in the environment, waste like sawdust and rice husks. We try to convert them into healthy protein, right? And then we try to utilize them so that we reduce the waste in the society. And then the waste product also, we use it for horticultural farm, which serves as manure. Basically, it's an organic farm where we have healthy protein at the end of the day to eat. Okay. So to start with, if we are growing mushroom, this is where we start. We call it the composting area. This is where we mix our rice husks, our sawdust, that is the raw materials we use to produce mushroom. We mix them here and then we bag them like you see in this. So when we bag it like this, we call this the substrate bag. So this is comprising of sawdust and rice husks mixed with water together. From here we take it to those drums there where we pasteurize them. Pasteurization is simply sterilization, where we try to remove harmful bacteria from inside the substrate, because we want to introduce only white oyster, the mushroom that we are growing. Right. So if we do that, we'll move to where we call the right. So what we do here is simply the introduction of the mushroom seed. We call it the spawn. So I will show us one. This is sample of the mushroom seed, right? So once we bring this substrate, I mentioned that we need to heat it in those drums. So after heating, these bags here has been heated. They only want to introduce the seed inside.
Okay.
So what we do is we simply open it, scoop this a little, and put.
So just like as if you are planting.
Exactly. So this is how we end up having it. You see,
Okay.
we open, put a little, and then we cover it back. So when we now allow it here to grow, now it will grow to the point where the whole bag will turn white as this.
Okay.
So it's growing downwards, it's colonizing the whole bag. So once this is fully colonized, we call it ready to fruit substrate, and then we
Take it to the other room.
where fruiting will start. So basically this takes at least 3 weeks for it to grow to this point. So once we plant, we leave it for 3 weeks, it grows, and then we go to the next phase. So here is basically more or less the last phase, basically almost the last phase of the production. So those bags that are ready to fruit, we bring them here and then we hang them like this. So in 2 weeks we begin to see our fresh tissue, and this is mushroom. This is ready for harvest, and we harvest this continually. This cycle will last for at least 4 months. You keep harvesting until the bags are almost spent. You see, these ones, they are almost spent.
So there's no more production here.
There's still production, but it's slow because it's more like spent layer. This is spent substrate already. So we will change it for a new one. Those ones we are colonizing now, we'll change it, replace it with this. So that's how we continue the cycle. And here, the only thing we do here is just to water. We don't make use of fertilizer, we don't make use of any chemical. This only thing we do is just to apply water to it all day.
Okay. Yeah. So in summary, how many days does it take for a cycle?
So basically, once you finish the whole of this process, these bags here can stay here for more than 4 months, like I mentioned. So if I should harvest from this very bag now, if I harvest from this in the next 7 to 10 days, another mushroom will come out of this again. That's how we continue for the next 4 to 6 months. Yes.
So what are the production you get in a cycle?
So we biologically we make use of the weights, right? We use weight. So this is a 2 kg bag, and it is expected that you will have 500 grams per 1 kg bag in a cycle. So this bag, if you are having 100 of this bag, it means you should be having 50 kg at the end of the cycle.
That is each 50 kg of mushroom.
Fresh mushroom. So, and then we sell per kg too. You know, in the shop right, you can find at an expensive price, but here we sell it at 6,000 naira per kg. Yes. Okay. So for an entrepreneur or a business person who wants to venture into mushroom production, you try to multiply 6,000 by 50 in a cycle. You know how much you will make, and to make those 100 bags, you will not spend up to 100,000 to get those ready. So it's a budget-friendly business that one could easily venture with, even at the comfort of your backyard. Yes.
So is it a profitable business for someone who
Absolutely, very profitable. In fact, mushrooms are one of the business that you get over 100% return on investment in its first year of establishment.
Okay, so what are the challenges you face here?
So basically, we cannot say there are no challenges, right? So one of those is the storage facility. You know, mushroom is a short shelf life plant. So basically, if you don't have markets to immediately offtake, you have problem storing it. Right, so storage is one of it, and then markets too, because you hardly go to the market to see a store where there's mushroom. So you need high-end consumers, you know, those that
value it.
Yes, you know, health conscious consumers are those that basically eat mushroom. So you need rigorous marketing to get those, you know. But good thing we have an association where we can easily market our product through them, and one of the best way to preserve it, like I mentioned, is to dry them. That's why we have a dehydrator outside. Simply put it in and then take away the moisture content, and we're good to go.
Okay. So does this farm system have a risk? Does it has risks on it?
Yeah, so you mean hazard?
Yes, the
Yeah.
hazard.
So basically there's no hazard as far as this, except of course physical hazard, maybe your installation, the stand, you did not keep it well, because this is quite heavy. I mentioned 2 kg and this line takes about 300 bags. That means we are talking about 600 kg. So in all, if we should fold this, we are talking about 3 ton, 4 ton of weight. So if your stand is not strong enough, it might collapse on your head, and that's one of the risks. But aside that, health-wise, we don't have any.
So what will you tell to someone who wants to start a mushroom business? What will be your advice to the person?
Get into the mushroom business immediately. This is the new oil money that we're talking about, because it's highly profitable, it requires less capital, and it will not cost a sweat for you to get involved, because we use sawdust is basically free in the environment. You go to a timber shop, you get it. You know, the only thing that will cost you a little is the seed itself, and that is very, very negligible, right? So you get into the business, get involved, get active today. And
what about the technical know-how about the work? Is the technicality too difficult?
it's not too difficult. It's what we have in abundance, common sense. So just a little mentorship. With little mentorship, you can do it on your own at home. It's a DIY for a start.
Okay, so comparing to other types of farming,
Yes.
what is your take about this mushroom farm? Is it cheaper to start comparing to poultry, fishery? So
Absolutely, this is very, very cheap. This is very, very cheap. Like I mentioned, you don't necessarily need a whole lot of space, right? You just need a little cubicle around your courtyard, your backyard. Just cover a little place. You put your bags. So with 50 to 100,000 naira, you can start a farm. Yes, 50, you can start a farm, and you will not just eat your food with your family. You will also be able to sell. Yes.
So as a trainee in this farm, what are you gaining in this farm as a trainee?
Oh, I'm actually gaining a lot, because I didn't think I would be here first of all.
Okay.
But growing up, I used to see my mom planting things like in our compound.
Okay.
And then that has actually helped me. I had little knowledge, but coming here, it has broadened my knowledge to a lot of things I didn't think were possible. I didn't even know that you could grow mushroom inside.
Wow.
I usually thought mushroom was grown like outside in the forest, and because you usually see it on trees. So coming here, I can see that you can actually grow mushroom by yourself.
Okay. So that's what you gained.
Yes, and also fish, how to raise fish, how to plant.
Wow.
Then there's snairy, there's also poultry and nutrition. How we eat wealthy, how we eat healthy rather, and not wealthy.
So would you like to open your farm on your own?
Yes,
in the future?
definitely. I will. I can open a farm and also feed myself from there, feed myself,
Wow.
feed my family, and also get money from there. You know, sell the farm produce to other people and get money.
No problem.
That's a good question. We did a lot of things here,
Okay.
but it's cycle by cycle, season by season, period by period. Now currently we have okra here coming up. The last cycle before this one was cucumber, called mini cucumber, very crunchy, and it's very lucrative. It's a good business that every household should venture into. After that cycle, we now introduce okra here at the center. This is okra growing here, and by my side we have pepper, because we have different kinds of crop here at the center. We grow cucumber, we grow coconut, we grow okra, we grow pepper, yam, lettuce, cabbage, all kinds of vegetables here at APDC.
Okay. So how long does it take to grow?
Oh, this very species is seriously hybrid, which we crossbreed here ourselves. We just take number of from the one of planting to just 21 to 25 days. We can start harvesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Even the cucumber.
Cucumber just 21 days. Sure, 100% guarantee. Start harvesting, and it will last for 4 months to 5 months to complete its own cycle.
So like how many times do people harvest?
We harvest interval of 3 days. That means harvest today, by next tomorrow we harvest again, like that until the end of their cycle. Thank you.
So what is your profit margin in this?
Wow, it's very wide.
Okay.
When we invest, let me just put it like a businessman. is ratio 1:8. That means when you invest like 1 naira, you get 1 naira back and you make profit of 8.
8 naira.
That's what it means, that if you invest your 1 million naira, you get 1 million back, and you can also get 8 million in the cycle of 3 to 4 months.
Okay.
Thank you.
So what are your challenges here?
Before, when we started this center, because we are not a research, we are into research, but not that research like other research institutes. But we are running research here. There is something called proof of concept. That phase of proof of concept, we have to practice here before sending out to or introduce trainees or taught training how to do it. So the challenge here is just small, is the water problem sometimes. We don't have water board, and the borehole, we have about 3 boreholes here. Because of the zone here, is sometimes we have issue of water. And that's apart from water system, we don't have any challenges. We are good to go. And another challenge, because it's open field, insects. But we always overcome, because we are not just carry out the research, or maybe we are due to an error. Something I have confirmed that we have been doing, and we have evidence or tracing record that they are 100% accurate, that you can control insects. But those are the small things that we have as an challenges.
Okay, can you compare your greenhouse farming and an open farming here?
Oh, greenhouse farming is very okay compared to this place, because the purpose of greenhouse farming is 100% control of insecticide. There are some insects you cannot control here.
Okay.
And the more you're going to control, it's some either stressful or cost application. But for greenhouse, it's very 100% okay, that you don't have problem.
So that means
for greenhouse, yes.
As a newbie, you advise the person to go into greenhouse.
Yeah, yes, because of capital intensive, we tell you to think big and start small.
Okay.
You can, once the resources, you can go into greenhouse.
How much can somebody start as an average person who wants to start this horticulture?
Okay, average at the corner of your house, there's something called vertical farming. You don't even need soil. Okay. And most of these things are seen as soilless. We don't use soil for growth, for production here. What we are seeing here is a mixture of rice bran and sawdust.
Okay.
Rice bran and sawdust. Then mix up with poultry dropping. You can see feather of chicken here. Yes. It's a compost that we formulated.
Okay.
So with 200,000, even 100,000, depends on the size of your farm. Okay. With 50,000, something small, that is very small. But depends on the capital involved, the number of the size of your farm determine what you are going to be. You cannot go for hybrid seed. You can get seed from us, which is a bit cheaper compared to seed company. Okay. You can go into open field and manage your seed, depends on what you have. But originally, to have something that can pay your bill, that can feed you, that can pay school fees for your family, I think you have something reasonable. Let's say 500,000 or 1 million and above. Okay. The size of the farm determines how much you're going to spend, but no amount of money is small.
This is layers. Simply means birds that lay egg. That's why we call them layers. And they are just about 18 to 32 weeks right now. We brought them at point of lay. Point of lay means when they were 16, 18 weeks that we brought them. They started laying ending of February. That's where they were started dropping. Now fully we are almost 80% of laying.
Okay, so how long does it take for them to stop laying?
Okay, it takes like 1.5 years.
Wow.
1.5 years for them to lay. It starts from 18 weeks to 20 weeks laying. They will lay till 1.5 years before they stop laying. Yeah.
So why did you choose putting them in at point of lay, not putting them at a day age?
Okay, the reason is because it's better, honestly it's better for you to raise your best for yourself when you start them from day old. But this one we bought them at point of lay because day old is very difficult to get now, and by this week we are bringing a day old for layers that we will rear for other people to come and buy. Then by the time we dispose those old ones, We will not stock those new ones. But those ones we are looking for day old, but we not. That is why we brought them at point of lay. That is what happened.
So why did you choose battery cage instead of deep litter?
Yes, thank you that you know battery cage and you know deep litter system. This is battery cage. The difference is this battery cage is easy to manage. In the sense that you can see is the system. This is the feeder. This is where you put your feed. This is where they lay their hand and you can pick your hair from there. This is the pipe that the water is passing through. This is the nipple. So they know that there is water here. Everything is system. That's what I call battery cage system. Whereby this is the tank, you store the water automatically flows through the pipe and they drink their water. Even when you are storing drugs, when you are giving them drugs, it's not wasting. While deep litter system, you have the drinker, the normal manual drinker system, then the feeder. And that one, before you know it, they will be pouring the water, the drugs on the floor. Even the feeder, you see them pulling inside their feeder. So that one is very difficult to manage. Not that it's not good, but the management, this one is easier to manage. As you can see, under is where the manure, when they pull, the thing will just flow down. What we do, we just push the manure, we flush them with water. It's easy to manage. This one also, it helps to reduce disease. You can't contact disease, especially coccidiosis disease. This battery could help them to reduce disease contamination.
So now, like, how many crates of eggs you get daily from this?
Yes, since they've started, we brought them. This number, this point of lay that we brought 270, and since December we brought them, we had only some mortality due to some heat stress. Now, as they started laying 80%, we are getting 6 crates per day already. 6 crates per day. And what we normally do, we do the average of the birds that you have. We see how many eggs they are laying every day in order to know whether they are giving you result or they are not giving you. But what we are getting now, we are getting 6 crates per day.
So, like, how many times do you feed them per day?
Yes, I feed them early in the morning, very early, around 6 a.m. Very early in the morning. After you feed them till 9 o'clock, you come, just do normal process. Then you will leave it till 3 to 4. You feed them again. That one will sustain them till daybreak. Because very early they start laying. As you give them food again early in the morning tomorrow, that is where they will start laying. Before 9, most of them 80% or 70% have already laid their egg. So we feed them 2 times in a day.
Is there any reason why you feed them at that time?
Yes, there's a reason. It takes 24 hours to 26 hours for a chicken to process laying of egg. So when you feed them early, it helps them to process. That process can go. If you do not feed them, all they will do is just be shouting. There is no energy for them to lay their, to go through that process to lay their egg. That's why you feed them very early. And you feed them very early, they lay egg on time before even the no time. That is how we feed them.
So how much you sell a crate of egg?
A crate, we are selling per 1. Or if you want to buy from 1 to 4 crate is 5,500 at the farm. But we have customers that are buying like 10, 20, so we sell for them 5,300 naira. So when you calculate 5,000, okay, let me tell you something, like then we are feeding them 1 bag and a half. All of them 1 bag and a half. We are feeding them 1 bag of feed and a half. Both this new one, the old one. Now, what we are getting from both the old one and the new one, we are getting 10 crates per day. So you are feeding them with 1 bag. How much is a bag? A bag is just 40,000 naira. Wow. So you calculate 40,000. I'll let you say 14 plus 7. That is 21,000 naira. Then a crate of 10 crate times how many? 53,000 naira. That is total. If you remove 53,000 from 21,000, how much you are getting per day? So it's very profitable if you can manage layer. It's very profitable. There is nothing that is wasting in this beds you are seeing. Even the manure, the poo is manure. We use it to plant this manure. Then after the lay, I told you they are laying 1 year and a half. After laying, then you set them off as old layers. So it's profitable if you can go into it.
So what are your challenges in this farm?
Huh?
What are your challenges?
Challenges sometimes disease. If this thing, if disease, if they just contact disease, that is to manage them. All those, you see the mortality, all those things. The most of the challenges is disease, and also each period, during each period, especially this time we are, you will see them not laying big egg. having a reduction of egg laying. Those are the problems. You see, as you can see, we see fan, so that they can able to, we can maximize their production. So production usually reduce when there is heat. That is mostly our challenge in this place. If not, layer do not have challenge like that, except there's outbreak of disease.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what would be your advice to people who want to come into layers? What would be your advice as a professional?
Okay. What I will tell them is layers or poultry production as a whole, both broilers and layers, is more profitable. It's a dirty work anyway. Don't mind me wearing this, going under, cleaning, feeding early in the morning, but at the end you will make profit because it's profitable. Like what I said, you see amount you are buying feed, amount you are feeding them, the amount you are getting from egg. Why? Because nobody is importing egg to Nigeria. I've not seen it. There's no importation of egg. It's we that is producing the egg that we are eating, and there's no day someone will not eat 1 egg per day. So if you are doing poultry and you are doing layer, it's more profitable. There is no how you will not see customer, all your egg will be on the ground. Like today now, we have so many customers that are coming for this egg, and some of them cannot even meet their demand. So our advice, we need more farmers that can go into poultry. So if you know you have the capacity, the capital to start, our advice you, because definitely you will make the profits.
So you're trying to say now the markets for selling of egg, there's enough market?
Yes, there's enough market, enough that you can't even meet their demand. Yes.
This is the African Development Center, combining farming and free training all in one place. Which of these will you try? Fish, poultry, snail, mushroom, or greenhouse? Comment below, and do not forget to subscribe for more videos like this.